What if I told you that the greatest transformation in your life doesn't begin with talent, skill, or even confidence? It begins with belief, not belief in what you do, not belief in what you have, but belief in who you are becoming. To act as if you are the best is not arrogance. It's not pretending, it's alignment. It's choosing to show up in the world guided not by your fears, but by your vision. It's deciding to carry yourself with the energy of someone who already knows their purpose, who already owns their impact. People think they need results to feel worthy, but the truth is, worthiness comes first. You don't get better then believe, you believe first, and that's how you get better. When you act as if you are the best, you lead with intention. You ask better questions, you listen differently, you show up with energy that says, I have something to offer, and I'm here to serve, because the best don't compete, they contribute. The best aren't desperate to be seen. They're focused on helping others see clearly. You see, acting as if is about embodying the standards of excellence before the world gives you permission. It's about becoming internally congruent with the version of yourself that hasn't arrived yet, but is already real in your mind and heart. What would change if you walked into every room knowing you belong? What if you led your team like you were already trusted? What if you spoke your ideas like they mattered? Because they do. The difference between those who lead and those who follow is not talent, it's clarity. Clarity of purpose, clarity of identity, clarity of belief, and that clarity only comes when you stop asking the world to validate you and start showing the world who you already are. Acting as if you are the best isn't about being better than others. It's about holding yourself to the standard of the person you want to become. It's about being a model of courage, not certainty, humility, not ego, purpose, not perfection. So I invite you today, right now, not to fake anything, but to remember who you are. To rise to the occasion, not shrink from it. To show up for your life like you've already been chosen. Because in the end, the world follows those who go first. Not those who wait to be called great, but those who decide to act like it. What if everything you've been told about success is backwards? We grow up thinking that once we achieve certain milestones, once we get the promotion, the recognition, the income, the validation, then we'll feel confident, worthy, and ready to lead. But the truth is, the people who actually achieve lasting success operate from a completely different mindset. They understand that belief must come first, not as a result of progress, but as the catalyst for it. When you act as if you are the best, you're not pretending. You're aligning yourself with the identity of someone who has already committed to greatness. That belief, that mindset, becomes the fuel that drives your actions. It influences how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you respond to adversity. Consider this: no one follows someone who's unsure of themselves. Confidence is contagious, but it has to come from within. You don't earn belief by waiting for others to give it to you. You build belief by deciding that you are capable of doing hard things, of learning, of growing, of leading. When you carry yourself with that sense of inner certainty, the world begins to respond to you differently. Opportunities appear not because they were never there, but because you've finally stepped into the mindset to see them and seize them. This is not about arrogance. It's not about walking into a room thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about walking into a room knowing you don't have to prove anything. You just have to be who you are becoming. That shift from doubt to decision is where transformation begins. You stop waiting to be ready. You stop asking for permission. You stop hesitating and start executing. When you act as if you are the best, you naturally raise your standards. You no longer tolerate excuses from yourself. You no longer shrink to fit in or water down your voice. You begin to see setbacks not as signs of failure, but as part of the path, because you've already decided who you are and where you're going. The most successful people don't wait for validation. They give themselves permission to start, to try, to learn. They become the person they want to be through belief-driven action. Acting as if you are the best is not a performance. It's a declaration, a decision to lead with identity rather than insecurity. And the moment you adopt that mindset, you start to move differently. You speak differently, you live differently, and eventually the results begin to catch up with the belief that started it all. Leadership isn't about being above others. It's about standing for something greater than yourself. So many people think being the best means outshining others, being louder, more successful, more noticed. But real leadership isn't driven by ego or comparison. It's grounded in clarity. When you act as if you are the best, you're not trying to dominate. You're choosing to embody a clear vision of who you are and why you do what you do. That clarity becomes your compass. It guides how you interact with others, how you face challenges, and how you make decisions under pressure. The most inspiring leaders don't demand respect. They earn it through consistency, character, and clarity of purpose. They aren't obsessed with looking perfect. They're committed to being authentic. Acting as if you are the best doesn't mean pretending to have all the answers. It means showing up with certainty about why you're here and how you want to contribute. You don't have to know everything, but you do need to know what you stand for. That clarity creates trust, and trust is the foundation of influence. You see, people don't follow titles, they follow conviction. They follow someone who knows where they're going and invites others to come along, not by force, but by example. When you have clarity, you don't need to compete with others for attention. You attract the right people, the right opportunities, because your actions and values are aligned. You're not chasing recognition. You're focused on contribution. You're not trying to win against others. You're trying to win with them by lifting them up, by creating something that matters. Clarity gives you the courage to act boldly. When you know your purpose, you're less likely to be swayed by fear, doubt, or criticism. You're not looking for the world to tell you you're enough. You've already decided you are. That doesn't make you inflexible. It makes you grounded. It allows you to adapt without losing your sense of self. And in a world that's constantly shifting, that kind of internal stability is rare and powerful. When you act as if you are the best, it's not about superiority. It's about stepping fully into your role as someone who leads with intention, who lives by principle, and who inspires by example. It's about recognizing that leadership isn't a position, it's a mindset. It's clarity in motion, and that clarity doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. So don't wait until you feel completely ready or validated. Don't wait until you have a title, a following, or perfect conditions. Decide who you are, decide what you stand for, and then live it fully, because clarity, not status, is what makes someone worth following. And the moment you choose to act from that place, you're already leading. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you believe you are. This is why your identity, the story you tell yourself about who you are, shapes everything. If you see yourself as average, you will act accordingly. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, who hesitates, who needs permission, you'll unconsciously align your behavior with that story. But when you begin to act as if you are the best, you start rewriting that identity. You begin telling a different story, not because you're pretending, but because you're deciding to grow into something more. Your identity is not fixed. It's a living process, and it evolves through consistent action. Acting as if you are the best doesn't mean faking confidence or swagger. It means choosing to live in alignment with the person you want to become, not the one you've always been. Every time you choose courage over fear, discipline over comfort, purpose over distraction, you reinforce a new identity. You start to believe in the version of yourself who shows up, who takes responsibility, who leads by example. This is how real transformation happens, not in giant leaps, but in small, consistent choices made from a place of belief. When you act as if you are the best, you raise the bar for how you think, how you speak, how you show up. You stop playing small, you stop seeking approval, you stop waiting for someone else to tell you it's your turn. You take ownership, not just of your goals, but of your growth. Think about the best version of yourself. How do they walk into a room? How do they speak when they're passionate? How do they respond when things don't go their way? When you ask those questions, you create a gap between who you are and who you're becoming. And when you act as if you already are that person, that gap starts to close. Your identity drives your habits. If you believe you're a leader, you'll start making decisions like one. If you believe you're valuable, you'll stop settling for situations that don't reflect your worth. If you believe you're capable, you'll stop shrinking from challenges. This is the real power of acting as if you're not playing a role. You're practicing who you want to be until it becomes second nature. And here's the beautiful part. The more you do it, the more real it feels. The more real it feels, the more naturally you act from that place. Eventually, you stop needing to act as if. You simply are. The belief becomes embodied, the identity becomes reality, and others begin to see you as the version of yourself you committed to becoming from the very beginning. So if you want to change your life, start with the story. Start by choosing to see yourself differently, and then act every single day like that story is already true. Because one day it will be.